friends, it's Shereé, and in today's episode number 18 of Elevate with Ankara, I will be revealing to you my finished skirt. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning person, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, let's get into it. If you are new to the series, let me give you some background information. This series was started by myself and Talisha of Creativity by T here on YouTube and on Instagram. And in this series, we are trying to encourage our sewing friends to elevate basic sewing patterns by using standout Ankara fabric. Let's get into the skirt that I selected. Now, in the video before last video we had an interview with Sew Your Bag. The video before that, we shared that we will be making Ankara skirts, and we shared several different pattern options that we felt could be elevated by using Ankara fabric. And I want to reveal to you the pattern that I selected. So I selected Simplicity S9552. That's this pattern here, and I will insert a picture. And I really like this pattern a lot, and spoiler alert, I love what I made, okay? This pattern comes with a crop top. There are 3 total views for this pattern. The first is the crop top, and that's A. View B is a knee-length skirt with a front pocket, and view C is a longer skirt. It basically takes view B and adds a ruffle at the bottom, so it still has that nice large pocket on the front. This pattern is rated as average. I definitely agree that this is an average pattern. If you have basic knowledge of sewing and you know how to install a buttonhole and sew on buttons, you can absolutely make this pattern. The instructions are pretty straightforward and easy to follow. We'll get into more detail about that later. Let me give you some information about this pattern. For this pattern, you're going to want to use fabrics such as chambray, cotton blends, ginghams, lightweight denims, linen, sateen, seersucker, stretch wovens. Now, as you know, this is Elevate with Ankara, so I used 100% Ankara cotton fabric. And you will also need lightweight interfacing. For view A, which is the crop top, you will need 2 buttons. For view B, you'll need 5 buttons. And for view C, the view that I made, you need 6 buttons. The button size recommendation for this pattern is 3/8 of an inch. However, I actually sized up, and I want to say that my buttons were 7/8 of an inch, but they're quite large. And I did that because I didn't want them to be completely lost by the print on my fabric. They're still a bit hard to see. However, I think it was the better choice than using a smaller button. Now, the size range on the pattern that I picked up is a 16 to 24. However, this pattern ranges from a size 6 all the way to a size 24. And I chose to make a size 16. One of the things I love about this pattern is that for the crop top, it comes in bust sizes. So you can get either an AB cup, a C, or a D. And friends, I sewed a D cup. So I decided that I would go with the size 16 even with the D cup because I wanted to accommodate my waist measurement. And bonus, friends, I actually made A and B, so I definitely will give you the deets on the crop top even though this video is primarily for the skirt. So for the top, I made the size 16 D cup. However, I do believe that when I make this again in the future, and I will because I think it's super cute on and you'll see in the pictures, I think I'll size down to a size 14 or maybe even a 12 and keep the D cup. That's if the D cup is available in the size 12. That's not in my packet. So definitely want to size down on this guy and keep the D cup just for a better fit. For the skirt, I made a size 16, which fits me perfectly in the waist. However, it does give me a bit too much room in the hips. However, I don't mind that too much because one thing that I love about this skirt is with it being roomy, and it's even roomy on the model. It just kind of skims her hips, but it's not super tight on her midsection, on her belly, on her hips. It's just kind of a comfortable fit. I love that, and I love it especially being a little too big for me because it means that if I eat a little extra dinner and I expand, I'm still comfortable in my skirt and it's not super noticeable, especially with a busy Ankara fabric print. It'll kind of hide a little bit of that belly, so I really appreciate that. I also have an idea for a hack in the future by making it the size that I made, which is slightly too big in the hips. So that's the reason why I selected this size, was to accommodate my waist, but it will definitely work out with my changes for the future. To make the skirt, there are 11 pattern pieces, and some of those pattern pieces are going to be cut too. So that's quite a bit of pattern pieces. And then for the crop top, there are 5 for the outer fabric, and then there are 4 pieces for the lining of the top. So that 5th pattern piece is actually the straps of the top. Let's talk about the amount of time that it took me to make this. I did split this between 2 nights, and on the first night I constructed the skirt, and it took me a little over 3 hours to construct. And to be honest, I did not realize it was going to take that long. I thought I would be sewing through super fast on that guy. However, with applying interfacing and just taking my time and also putting buttonholes and hand sewing on buttons, it did increase the amount of time spent on the garment. So it was about 3+ hours, and I'm a quick sewer, so I was very surprised that it took me that long. But let's be fair, I was also watching Netflix at the same time, as I often do, so maybe I wasn't sewing as fast as I would normally sew. For the top, it actually took me about the same amount of time as the skirt, which also surprised me. But when you consider the number of pieces that had to be sewn together and the fact that the outer shell of the top had to be completely interfaced, it kind of makes sense. I also had to sew in a zipper, and I had a zipper fail, so it set me back with unpicking and everything. So it's definitely a crop top. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, this shouldn't take long. I could be able to whip this up really quick. But there are a lot of steps to putting that crop top together so that it fits your body nicely. So it does take time. I found the pattern instructions to be really easy to follow and pretty straightforward. I don't think that if you are an average sewer, you will struggle with this skirt at all. It came together so nicely in all the pattern. That's one thing I want to say, is all the pattern pieces matched up perfectly. All the notches matched up perfectly. All the dots matched up perfectly. Everything was great with this pattern. I have in the past struggled with some things not matching up in sewing other patterns in the past. So this was definitely a refreshing thing when I was making this skirt. Everything just was seamless, and I really appreciated that. Now with the top, I did find that there was something confusing in the construction, and that was the zipper. So because this is lined, you do a lot of the work to combine the pieces before you attach the zipper, and the zipper is only attached to the outer shell. It's not attached to the lining. So that was one thing. I hadn't done it that way before, which is okay, and I was able to figure that out. But the other thing is, the packet says to do a 7-inch separating zipper. But in the instructions, right above the instructions for installing the zipper, there's a little block that says to use a special tool in order to attach invisible zippers. So when you're sewing late at night and you get thrown an instruction like that, it kind of, well, I can't speak for you, but it sent me into a little bit of a panic, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this was supposed to be a separating zipper. I need an invisible zipper. So I had to go through my stash and find an invisible zipper. I install the invisible zipper, which is not separating. It's connected at the bottom. Turn the top right side out, and it will not come all the way out when I try to turn the pieces right side out. And the reason why is because it was supposed to be a separating zipper, not an invisible zipper. So I don't know why they would include an instruction about using a special tool for an invisible zipper in the instructions if an invisible zipper doesn't work with this pattern. I'll show you what I mean so that it makes more sense. When you have this is a separating zipper that's on this guy, and it's hard to see because it's black. There it is. Now, with the separating zipper, it comes completely apart so that you can put the top on easily. It also means that when you turn this bodice, this top, right side out, that it comes through the hole that you've created nice and easy. With an invisible zipper, you can't completely separate the bottom, so it stays connected, right? which means that when you go to turn it right side out, you can't, because this isn't separated. It gets tangled and caught in the middle of the top. So when I couldn't turn it right side out, that's when I realized, oh wait, I was supposed to use a separating zipper, not an invisible zipper. So I'm not sure why Simplicity inserted that little block of information above the instructions to say that special tools would be needed for invisible zipper when this pattern in fact does not require an invisible zipper. I don't know if what I just said made sense, but definitely if you make this top, I want to tell you, use a separating zipper, 7-inch or 7 to 9-inch separating zipper. Because of installing the wrong zipper, I had to completely unpick the zipper and then reinstall the appropriate zipper before finishing up my top. Again, really great instructions, straightforward, easy to follow for the skirt, and even for the top as well, aside from that one note that threw me off completely. I really did enjoy the way the skirt came out. I thought it was extremely cute, and I want to tell you what I'd like to do in the future to make this skirt better for me. So because I have some extra space and room on the hips here, I think that it would be really great to figure out how I can insert a side seam pocket. There is a side seam here, and with the extra room in the hips, there's plenty of room for me to be able to stick my hands into a side seam pocket. So for future versions of this skirt, while the front pocket is cute and it's camouflage so you can't see it, it's right here in front. While this is a cute pocket and it is functional and it is large, I prefer to be able to stick my hands in my pockets and, you know, put things like my bulky cell phone in my side pocket rather than the front of my skirt. And there's plenty of space in the hips to do that, since I don't have big hips, and it won't look weird or like protrude in any way. When I insert a video of me moving around in this skirt, you'll be able to see the extra room. And I just think that that would make this so much better. Even though I love the way it came out, I think it would make it so much better. Let me give you a close-up of the buttons that I installed. And I want to make another note about the actual button on the waistband. So when I did my jean review, I want to say it was the Morgan jeans by Closet Core Patterns, I mentioned that for installing the button that you were supposed to move it over a bit, not directly in the center of the buttonhole. I think that's what I should have done with this as well, because if you look closely, the buttonhole goes all the way over here, whereas the button is here. And what I had done is sewn the button directly in the middle of the buttonhole. I wish I had actually sewn it closer to the edge here, so that when it was buttoned, it stayed over like this in an alignment with the other buttons instead of shifting. So my recommendation to you, and let me show you what I'm talking about, unbutton it. When you sew on your button, instead of sewing it directly in the center of the buttonhole, make it so that it's closer to the edge of this corner here, right here. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you button it, it will line up perfectly with the other buttons in your skirt once your waist is inside. Because I didn't, when you pull the waistband, as you can see, the button is off to the side instead of lined up with the other buttons. I hope that makes sense. You just want to move it over so that it is nicer. But it's still functional. It's still cute. I think it's just a pet peeve of mine that it doesn't line up perfectly when I put this skirt on. So that is something that I will change in the future. I really loved this skirt a lot, and I can definitely see myself making it again in lots of different fabrics. Maybe a lightweight chambray, maybe linen. I just think this is a great skirt. I recommend it to everyone. Now, this is a very high-waisted skirt on anyone. As you can see, the model in the pattern, you can't see her belly button, right? So it is designed to be high-waisted. However, I have a very short torso, so it is very high-waisted on me, but it's loose enough to be comfortable and flattering, in my opinion. Now for this top, I did another alteration. I made this top, put it together, it was beautiful, put it on, realized it was too big. So because it's lined and the way that it's constructed, it is not easy to make alterations for your size. I highly recommend making a muslin of this guy before you cut into your nice fabric. And this is what I ended up having to do, is I had to pinch out about a 1/2 inch on each side of the top in order to make it fit me properly. And by doing that, it's not pretty on the inside, right? Because now I have this little fold of fabric that would not normally be there. If I had made a muslin, I would have corrected all the issues with it before cutting into my regular fabric, and it would lay a little nicer. It's not noticeable when it's on, and it's under the arm right here, so it's not really a big deal. But the fact that it's not perfect like the rest of the top kind of bugs me a little bit, especially since it took me so long to construct the top. But that's just a lesson to myself. I know I should be making muslins, but I just thought with cup sizes, this will be so easy breezy. I won't have any fit issues, but I forgot to take into consideration that I usually sew a size 16 in an AB pattern in order to accommodate my bust. If it has cup sizes, I don't need a size 16 because the rest of my body doesn't necessarily fit in a size 16 as far as my shoulders and here. It's really just to accommodate the boobs. So going down a size in this will definitely fix that problem, maybe even 2 sizes. I'll have to look at the pattern pieces to see the size difference between the sizes. So that's one alteration that I made to this top. But as you can see, the inside of the top looks just as beautiful as the outside of the top. It is gorgeous. I really love the construction of this top. And the buttons, this is another issue that or alteration that I'll make in the future, is that the straps are incredibly long, and maybe by going down a size that would change the size of the straps as well. But I think I need to take out at least 2 inches of the straps. When it's buttoned, I had to put mine quite lower than the models in the picture because hers is like right towards the top of her neckline, and I had to put mine 2 inches lower in order to make the straps not fall off of me, and I still feel like there's a little extra room in the straps. So again, I will look at the pattern pieces to see if that will be fixed by going down in size. Otherwise, I will just go ahead and probably take 3 inches off the straps because they are quite long. This is an adjustment I have to make with most straps in dresses from Big 5 patterns, is because the straps are just so long and I have a very short, petite torso. So anyway, other than that, I really love this top. I think it's super flattering. It definitely fits me really nicely, and because I am short-waisted, as you can see for the model here, she's got all this belly showing. I'm short-waisted, so for me, there's only about 1 inch of skin, which is exactly what I feel comfortable sharing of my body. So I think that this is definitely a good pattern for my body type. I'm inserting pictures now. Now for the skirt, I really wanted to show off the skirt since this episode is primarily about the skirt using Ankara fabric. So I have paired this gorgeous skirt with a top that I got from Target. So if you like to shop at Target, you can pick this up. It is one of their current summer tops. This is what it looks like. It's just a lightweight denim top, and the back of it has shirring. So it just fits my bust so nicely. I will be honest, the cup is not the right size, which it is never gonna happen, okay, in ready-to-wear clothes that my breasts fit in a size small, medium, large, bustier type top. I need cups, right? But I think it's still like passable and it's comfortable, and I still think it's very cute. So I paired this with my skirt so that you could see what it looks like with a top that is not the same print. I think it looks absolutely stunning together. I also could see myself wearing this with a linen button-up tied with a knot in the front. You know, I love a good button-up top for summertime, so I could see myself doing that. It would also look very cute with a t-shirt tucked in, especially since it's not a very tight fitting skirt. You can absolutely tuck a top into the waistband of this skirt and it would look really cute. I paired this with sneakers when I modeled it with my denim top, which I think is the way that I would normally wear it. Now, when I paired the matching top with the skirt, I decided to switch to heels, and so I'm wearing a strappy white sandal heel, and I definitely think that dresses it up really nicely. This definitely would make the perfect outfit for a summer day party or maybe a day date or brunch with the girls. But if you wanted to dress up, I think that having the print on print definitely makes it look more like a dress, and it looks definitely more dressy. However, with the other colored top, or even if you put a t-shirt or a button up with the skirt, I think tennis shoes is the way to go. But very cute together. I love the way it fit my body. I felt really comfortable moving around in my yard and modeling and taking the pictures. I really love the way it came out. So do I recommend this pattern? Absolutely, I do recommend this. Now, if you are a person that has a long torso, I do want to let you know that you will probably show more skin like the model here. If you're not comfortable with that, you can easily add some inches to the bodice pieces of this top in order to lengthen it and cover your belly, and then it would fit more like this denim top on your body than this pattern by lengthening the pieces. And so I definitely think that that would be an easy thing to change. However, if you are short-waisted like myself, go for it, girl. Okay, if you want to cover up some stuff, you can still show a little skin and be comfortable and cute. Okay, so don't shy away from this pattern if you have a little some extra in the middle. Okay, if you are short-waisted, the pattern will be long enough to accommodate that. If you are short-waisted but you do want to show this much skin, then you will have to alter the pattern pieces to decrease the length slightly. And again, when it comes to the crop top, I highly recommend that you make a muslin, especially since there are cup sizes. One final note about the actual skirt. I think that it could be better if you know you're going to pair this with something other than the crop top of the pattern. I think that you could absolutely switch out this pocket for a fabric that is the same as the top you plan to wear it with. So if you were going to be wearing a denim top like how I paired it, you could absolutely switch out this pocket here for a denim pocket and just have a little contrast in your skirt. However, if you like the camouflage look, then go for it. Definitely use that camouflage look and no one knows you have a little hidden pocket here. Is this pocket necessary? In my opinion, no. It's only necessary if you like having a pocket, right? But I honestly don't think this pocket adds anything special to the actual finished skirt, even though it is a neat design feature because it's large and because it's in, you know, off to the side on the front of this skirt. Like, I mean, stylistically it's cute on the pattern. I just don't think that it is cute enough and functional enough to have it. I would much prefer to have that side seam pocket on each side than this big hidden pocket on the front of the skirt. It doesn't take away from the design of the skirt at all. I still think it's very beautiful, but I just don't think it's necessary. So for this guy in the future, I will be doing side seam pockets. And I think this is a gorgeous skirt. I will be wearing this all summer long and also in the spring. This fabric is 100% Ankara fabric, but I'll be honest with you, when I saw the print, I fell in love with it and I ordered it right away and I knew I was going to use it for the series. But right before I cut into it, I had this thought like, oh no, what if this is just 100% cotton? But it's not Ankara, because the print is not a typical Ankara print. It is floral and it is very, I don't know, non-Ankara typical print, right? So because of that, I actually reached out to House of Mami Wata, which is where I purchased it. And I double checked with her to make sure that this is in fact an Ankara fabric, and it is. So this is going to be my third Ankara fabric that didn't have a typical Ankara print on it. This is a very springy looking floral print, and it made me happy when I saw it. It made me smile, and so I had to have it. And I just know that wearing this outfit is going to make me feel cheery and happy all day long. So I'm definitely happy about this print. And while this is no longer in stock at House of Mami Wata, she does have some other really amazing floral prints that you should check out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also head over to Talisha of Creativity by T's channel and check out the skirt that she made using Ankara fabric. Make sure that you give her a thumbs up and subscribe to her channel as well. Make sure you come back to our channel so that that you can see the next episode of Elevate with Ankara, where we will be revealing the next garment in the series. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, and the absolute best summer. Talk to you soon. Bye.